We have a quorum by the skin of our teeth. And
Recording in progress.
do I have any additions or modifications to the agenda? Okay,
No.
so do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Susie?
Second.
Great. Jabu second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. And no opposed. So, and then a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting, August 4th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Jane?
Seconded.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Great. Thank you. All that passes. So for public forum, I know we had one individual and it identified in the list of attendees as Barry. So, and I don't know if that's the only person I know of. So Marcella, if you could, I guess I could allow, and I apologize. I don't know if that's the name. Barry, you are able to unmute and speak, and I apologize if that's not your name.
Sorry, just to add, we don't have any other members of the public wishing to speak at the moment. If anyone does, if they just raise their hand.
Wonderful. Okay. Barry, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I was just waiting. Yeah, so good afternoon, and thanks for the opportunity to comment. My name is Barry Nath, and I work in Burlington. I'm actually also a former high school math and statistics teacher. And I was just reading through some of the reports and the executive report summary and some of the analysis. I was a little concerned with what seems to be some issues and assumptions around the demographic census data that seems to be a bit of a key piece here. There's actually Art Wolf, who's a longtime professor of economics at University of Vermont. I think he's emeritus now. He's pointed out quite correctly that Burlington has a population that's significantly younger and less affluent and less educated than one might expect. And that's really because 25% of the population is college students. We know there's at least 12,000 out of 42,000, and that's just the UVM students. And of course, we have Champlain as well. And the implication of this is that on the census, those students that are filling that out in Burlington, which is a sizable majority of them, are going to be reporting a high school education and minimal income. And I think any assumptions or conclusions trying to use that demographic data without trying very hard to account for it would be deeply flawed. Looking at the survey response from Talitha, the results, we know that there was minimal student response to that. I think it was just like 3% or something. So I wonder if when we look at this survey, one could make an argument that it's actually more representative of the permanent resident population of Burlington than the demographics that we might get from census that's going to be including all the very large student population. And that's just that's the only comment that I wanted to make. I didn't really want to weigh in on any of the other issues.
Okay,
thank you for the.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Barry. Okay, I don't see anyone else with a hand raised. So at this point, we're going to talk about what we had said at the last meeting was we had the report and Nino had offered to prepare an executive summary. So I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie. And Stephanie, you may wish to talk about the other documents just to introduce what we have available today for folks.
Sure, thanks. So you all have seen the draft executive summary that you provided input on. And in addition to that, there are two documents that two data analysts in the city analyzed. That is the quantitative data that Talitha sent us that they did not have the time to analyze, as well as they also analyzed the qualitative data that Talitha, again, was not able to analyze. So those are two separate documents that we will release to the public also. So in total, we've made a list of 10 documents to release to the public: the RFP, Talitha's initial proposal, their work plan, their PowerPoint of their work plan, their preliminary results, their final report, the executive summary, the two data analyses, and all of that is, there's a link, there will be a link to that in the press release on the city website. So I believe the question is today whether we approve the executive summary for distribution. And that is basically our sole task today, as I understand it.
Correct. And just to clarify, the intention of that executive summary is to accompany the final report that would go to CNA, for example, or being made available with the report wherever it appears.
Exactly. Talitha didn't provide what we normally think of as an executive summary, which is usually a brief synopsis of the findings. And so we did that. And we also, well, you also have seen it, provided some of the background and how the documents were handled. So yes, that is exactly right. That should be distributed to CNA also once we have completed this.
So Stephanie, I didn't know if there was any discussion or if you wanted to bring a motion at this point, and then we can have discussion if there is any.
Great. So I move that we adopt the draft executive summary that is posted on board docs to be distributed with the Talitha's final report.
I second.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Is there any discussion about that? All right, so if there's no discussion, we're ready to vote. All in favor of adopting or approving the draft executive summary?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Anyone opposed? Okay, excellent. Thank you, Stephanie, for doing that. So, and just so folks know, all of these documents are on board docs and should be available to the public. And as we said before, we will be putting out a press release with a link to a city website that has all of the documents related to Talitha. So I have nothing further. Does anyone have any further, anything further to discuss today? Okay, so
this is Stephanie. I might just respond to the person who commented. The challenge is that census data is what we have. We can speculate about what the percentage of students is and their educational attainment, but absent that, the only way that we can assess the representativeness of the sample is using census data. And so, at least in my experience of doing this kind of work, that's the appropriate comparison. So I think we have to stick to that.
Susie?
I wonder if in the interest of visibility and transparency, if we might consider doing what we did before, which is put the report and the accompanying documents on Front Porch Forum in each one of the areas.
What might be good is posting the press release on Front Porch Forum, because that would then provide the link to all of those documents. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect.
That's a good idea. Thank you, Susie.
I also I like that idea a lot. I think that's really good.
Jane, can I ask you, is that something that we as a commission don't have that ability, and we try not to do things through the police department to keep an arm's length? Is that something?
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wonderful. So after this, I'm going to send
Yeah.
you the press release. Thank you for
Perfect.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course, absolutely.
And so I will make sure that CNA gets the link to the website with all of these materials as well. And I think that's it, unless anyone has anything further.
One additional thing, this is Stephanie. So maybe what you could do, Shireen, is when you send the press release to Jane, you could send it to everybody. That way
Yes.
everybody has a copy of it.
Yes. I will do that.
And that's right. The only other remaining task then would be to send this to CNA, and you'll be taking care of that. So I think we're all set.
Yes, and just so this group knows, I think everyone has had the opportunity to see the press release. I don't know that we need to have a motion on it, but if anyone had any concerns, certainly let us know. Now is the time, but it wasn't very different from the executive summary. So, okay.
I'm
Great.
comfortable with it. I think it's fine.
Perfect. Thanks, Jane. Okay, last opportunity for anything else. Otherwise, I think I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
This is Stephanie. I second it.
Wonderful. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And a thank you to Marcella for helping us out today. Thank you all, and stay cool.